Hello everybody and welcome to the next video in the training series. Really fast, I got a lot of questions about one of the videos in particular. So this one is going to kind of cover that same material again, just go into a little bit more depth. Really fast, you'll notice that the videos are very simple. I don't have very much animation and all that kind of good stuff. Obviously, it would only take me about 10 extra seconds to add that stuff in. However, I don't, because I would rather just give you the information in a no fluffy kind of way, so that way we can get through things a little bit quicker and give you some more details. That said, let's go into the deal. But first, some history. In the old days, and you can see like 3 years ago, if you wanted to do anything with, making money online or whatever, you would put up a blog or a website, and then you would use that to drive people to an email list. Right? And then from the email list is where you basically sold things. So you would drive people into an email list, and then from the email list, you would give links to, sales pages for products and stuff. Okay, this is basically the business model. This is it. A lot of people dramatically overcomplicated this business model, but basically this is it. Not very difficult. The reason why it worked so well is that the minute you get somebody into an email list, you get to contact them. You do not have to wait for them to come to you. Okay, so another good example is like an app. If you are in the app game, right, and you are using apps as a way of making money and all that kind of happy stuff, if you don't capture them into an email list, the only way you make money is when they come to you by opening up your app. Well, I want to help you expand things out a little bit bigger than that. I want you to use your app to drive people into an email list, so that way you get to contact them and make money whether they open up your app or not. Okay? The problem with the old way of doing things is that building up any level of traffic to your site or blog took a long time. And that meant that building an email list of any size took a long time. And that meant that making any decent amount of money took a long time. Apps, however, allow you to very easily get 50 to 100,000 downloads within about a month of the app going live, which is way faster than this can be done with a website. And you can then ask those people to join your email list. Getting 10% of your downloaders to join your email list is really a piece of cake. Piece of cake. If you're smart, you should pretty easily be able to get something closer to 50% of your app downloaders into your email list, which means that 100,000 app downloads should translate into 50,000 people in your email list. That's a huge email list. We're going to talk about what you do with this email list and how you make sure that the list is responsive and opening your messages and all those other kinds of stuff in a bit. Just know that apps make this stuff like really, really easy. For now, though, we're just going to stick with this 5,000 to 10,000 number. We're going to be a little bit more modest. In the old days, somebody with a 10,000 person, highly responsive email list was considered a big dog. They got preferential treatment. People would come to them saying, hey, I've got this affiliate program where we're going to, give half of the profits to our affiliates. If you come in because you're a big dog, we'll give you 60, 70, 75%, even 100% sometimes, because they wanted the customers and they wanted to be able to sell other stuff on what's called on the back end, right? So somebody with a really huge 10,000 person, highly responsive email list got all this preferential treatment, and because they got all this preferential treatment, they really got to make a lot, right? And it wasn't very easy. Once you have that big old email list, it becomes really, really, really easy. You don't even have to do much. You can just sell other people's stuff and make a killing. So let's talk about how to be a big dog yourself. When your app goes live, and now, by the way, we're going to get into the how-to stuff. So when your app goes live, you go to the forums that are relevant for whatever your app is for, and you ask about the app. Hey, I found this app, and I wonder what you guys thought about it. And you give a link to it. Or you don't even have to give a link to it. Hey, I found this app, and here's the app name. I wonder what you guys thought about it. And people will very often go and search the app themselves. If you do this with a whole bunch of forums, again, please, relevant to what the app is for, right? Don't go into a quilting forum saying something like this if your app is about basketball. Okay? Because they're not going to like it. But some warnings about doing that. Okay, so when you find the forums, and create the accounts, and you want to be posting on those forums for at least 2 weeks before you ask about an app. Okay, notice what I said there. Posting for at least 2 weeks. You want to have a good solid 20 messages minimum posted before you ever even consider asking about an app. This way you don't come across as a spammer. Okay, not only that, but if you're going to be posting on multiple forums, and you should, you absolutely never post the exact same thing on more than one forum. The reason why is most forums these days run software that actively look for what's called spam bots that are basically spamming the forum. And how they do that is they look for very similar text on more than one forum. So on one forum, you may say, hey, I found this app and I wondered what you thought. On another forum, you might say, I was out doing some research and there was this app. Does anybody have an opinion, or has anybody else seen it and can, tell me what it's about or if it's any good or whatever? Do you see what I'm saying? How dramatically different those two posts were? Well, that's how you need to be. They have to be dramatically different. If they're not dramatically different, then your post will be flagged as a bot, your account will be closed, and it will suck because it will do nothing. Your forum post will have done nothing, and then you will have lost all of those people who might otherwise have seen it. Next, what you want to do is go to the bloggers in the space, and you want to ask the bloggers to do an app review. Hey, you get the app for free. All I'm asking for you to do is review it. Most bloggers who are trying to post something every single day, they actually need content. They actually need things to post about. So this really isn't a very difficult sell especially if you just contact a lot of them, right? I like to use technorati.com to do this, and I look for any blogger with an authority of 10 or larger to do an app review for me. And like I said, I will contact as many as I possibly can. Once again, please, relevant to what your app is for. Forums and bloggers, oh my! If you do this, right, you go to the forums and you ask a whole bunch of bloggers to do a review of your app, you should have no difficulty at all reaching 1 million people doing this, right? 1 million people are going to hear about your app, which should translate into something north of 100,000 downloads, assuming your app is available for both iOS and Android, right? Getting 100,000 downloads becomes pretty easy. It's only a 10% quote-unquote conversion rate, and for most people with smartphones, when they hear about an app that's relevant to their market, that's relevant to what they're interested in, it gets downloaded percentages far higher than 10%. Especially if your app is free, which it should be. So getting 100,000 downloads pretty easy, which means that getting 10,000 or more people on your email list, pretty easy. Again, assuming that you give people a good reason to join the list. We talked about how to do that in a previous video. So what you're going to do now is you give 3 really great videos that give some really good information, one right after the other, right? So they join your email list right away. They get one of the videos that gives them the information that you said you're going to give them for joining the email list in the first place. Then the next day, hey, I got this really great video I really think you're going to like. It's about this. Here's the link. Okay, really, really short. Should be at most a sentence or 2. The next day, hey, here's another really great video I think you're going to like. It's about this. And here's a link to the video, right? So these 3 really great videos. And now you just sell some stuff. Please don't be spammy or douchey about it, right? Okay? All you got to do is say, hey, this is what I have. This is what it will do for you. This is what it costs. Here's a link. Most of the time, I don't even do that much in the email. What I will do instead is say, hey, I've got another really great video for you. Here's a link. Do you notice how all of those emails follow the exact same format? The reason why is this way. By the time you get to that fourth video, you're kind of conditioning, what I call conditioning the click. They're getting used to clicking on that and watching the video. So they click on that, they watch the video, and in the video, that's where you do this is what I have, this is what it will do for you, this is what it costs. The link to actually buy the thing is below the video, right? If they're interested, they'll buy. If they're not, they won't. Right? That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be spammy. You don't have to be douchey. You just say, this is what I have. This is what it'll do for you. This is how much it'll cost. Click the link below to buy it. Doing that, when you're talking about 10,000 people, 50,000 people, usually translates into a pretty stinking large number of sales. And, if you just get a 10% conversion rate off of a 10,000 email list, you're still looking at 1,000 sales. If you're selling something that's, $97 or whatever, you're still looking at $100,000 just for sending out an email. Hope all of this makes sense. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how you turbocharge this whole process using YouTube, right? I'm going to show you how to use YouTube combined with the Facebook strategy I gave you in the previous video to get you even more traffic, even more email subscribers, and make far more money. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I will be happy to answer any question that you have.